The British arrest warrant was issued on Sunday for Israeli opposition leader Tzipi Lini after an application by a group of lawyers.
Hey, what's happening, Forum? You know, I saw this in my email box this morning that the United Kingdom has already issued an arrest warrant for Tzipi Livni. That's the foreign minister of Israel. Well, not to be outdone, I decided to find out whether or not we could do that in Australia, whether the Australian lawyers have a backbone or not. Tzipi Livni is already wanted for war crimes in Israel. Here is one of the websites. Do check it out. There's a whole list of criminals who are wanted for their complicity in war crimes during the Gaza caste-led genocide in 2009. So I decided to call the Human Rights Commission in Australia and see what they had to say.
Thank you for calling the Australian Human Rights Commission.
Australian Human Rights Commission, this is Peter.
And a very good afternoon, Peter. How are you, sir?
Not too bad, how are you?
Fantastic. I'm just calling up to find out whether or not Australia has launched any action against a war criminal from Israel known as Tzipi Livni.
This is the Australian Human Rights Commission.
Yes, indeed. I'm making a complaint because nobody has actually done that yet. Britain have already launched their prosecution. They've already ordered an arrest warrant for Tzipi Livni on war crimes that she did in Gaza during January of 2009. I was wondering, why have Australian human rights not done the same?
It's not, because just from what you've said to me, that would probably be a question more properly addressed to the Attorney General, the Commonwealth Attorney General's Department.
Oh, you mean the same people who are actually running the government? You mean like the Zionist-occupied government in Australia? I'm supposed to complain to them about not launching action on their own people?
Have you tried to contact the Commonwealth Attorney General's Department about the matter?
I'm well aware of who's running Australia at the moment. I can tell you, sir, they all wear the same hat. They all answer to the same master, and Australia, Canada, UK, and America are all answerable only to Israel. So going there is kind of like putting my head in the wolf's den. Do you really want me to do that?
Well, I can only tell you what the responsibilities of this committee.
Have I called the human rights line?
Yes, this is the Australian Human Rights.
Wow. Okay, and that's your advice to me, is to go to the Attorney General, part of the same system I'm complaining about?
Well, it sounds like...
This is a human rights issue.
Well, yes, I know that you feel that way, sir.
No, not just me. Many millions of people around the world feel this way. And with the inaction of governments, and specifically groups like yours, people are starting to wonder, well, who's in charge? Have your groups been infiltrated as well?
I can only tell you what the Commission's powers are in relation to anti-discrimination and human rights legislation in Australia.
Okay, well, what about discrimination against people based on the fact that they're not Jewish? How about goy hate? Is there any laws against that?
There are race discrimination laws under the...
Yeah, but religion is not a race.
There's some case law to the effect that there are some cultural or multicultural groups which may be denoted by religion or by race.
Okay, so when the Zionists say things in their holy books like that all non-Jews should be wiped out like cattle, is that not inciting hate?
I really don't know how to answer that question, Andrew.
Really?
Yes, I don't.
Well, I think it is. I think it's inciting a lot of hate.
Yes, I know you do.
A lot of people do too.
Well.
So the Human Rights Commission is just one more puppet, one more string by the Illuminati that's controlled.
Well, you can probably feel that way.
You're basically telling me that, buddy.
Well, that's your conclusion.
That's my conclusion, because you're telling me that nobody's going to do anything. If I want to go and ask, for Tzipi Livni to be arrested, just as they have in England...
But then you ask the Commonwealth Authority who's responsible for that sort of activity.
The Commonwealth Authority. Do you have the number there, sir?
The Attorney General's Department. Just a moment, I'll try and find it for you.
Sure, thank you.
Commonwealth. I'm just going online, so I'll just find it for you.
I appreciate your assistance in this, sir, and if you do get time, take a look at Southeast Asian News. There's a story there about every single Prime Minister in Australia having to be answerable to Israel.
Yes. Okay, I have a telephone number for you.
Yes, sir.
It's a Canberra number, but the area code is 02.
Yes.
It's 6141.
Yes, sir.
6666.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Well, it's 4 sixes at the end, sir. So 6141 6666.
That's a lot of sixes.
Yes.
So tell me, this is the Attorney General's Department of Australia, is that correct?
Of the Commonwealth Attorney General's Department, yes.
Commonwealth Attorney General. That's a woman, isn't it?
No, the Attorney General is Mr. McClellan, the member for Barton.
Okay, I'm getting confused with the Governor General.
Yes, she's a woman.
Man, how many positions have they got for these people to go to the trough? I wonder.
Well, I don't know.
Well, it sounds like you do know. You know a lot about it.
Well, no, I'm just trying to give you directions to the Attorney General's Department in Canberra.
Okay, so why can't I put in a complaint about Tzipi Livni to you people?
Because the Commission investigates race discrimination in certain areas of life, sex discrimination in certain areas of life.
So you're saying I could make a complaint? I could make a complaint about being harassed racially on YouTube and having death threats sent to me by Israelis?
I'm telling you what the Commission can and can't do.
So can I do that?
Well, I haven't got anything from our conversation so far that suggests that there would be some substance to that. I mean, if you wish to make a complaint to the Commission, you can do so. The Commission doesn't determine whether there is unlawful discrimination or not.
So maybe if I got a good job in government, the police would be straight on the case?
I really couldn't comment on that.
I bet you don't want to. That's about all. Well, thanks for your help there, buddy.
Thank you.
You have a swell day.
Okay.
Bye now. Well, after that phone call, I found out that the arrest warrant issued on Tzipi Livni had soon been overturned. An unknown somebody within the UK government had actually broken the law and meddled in the decisions of the UK courts. All of this to appease their Zionist overlords and masters, even going so far as to suggest that they overturn these laws that were bound under international recognition. After all, Tzipi Livni is nothing more than an anti-Palestinian, anti-Semitic extremist and a convicted war criminal who used terror in the Gaza cast-lead operation. She's actually a terrorist by definition. And now she's also a convicted war criminal. She's now got that placed on her permanent record. The warrant was actually issued and granted under the principle of universal jurisdiction, which basically means that any court of law around the world can try a war crime suspect regardless of where the alleged war crime took place or where this criminal has come from. Even directly after the incident, Tzipi Livni just laughed it off, saying it was an attack on democracy. Like a naughty child caught with her hand in the cookie jar, Tzipi Livni tried to deflect the situation by saying that it was an abuse of the London court system, an abuse of democracy. Well, maybe they don't even have a democracy in Israel. Maybe they don't even know what one is.
It's not a lawsuit against Tzipi Livni. It's not a lawsuit against Israel. It's a lawsuit against any democracy who fights terror. I'm proud of decisions I made as an Israeli foreign minister in order to protect our civilians.
But right here, we can see the guilty look on this person. This anti-Palestinian extremist who uses terror against the civilian population really needs to be brought to justice.
There are very clear responsibilities on the government under the 4th Geneva Convention to seek out and prosecute those who have been alleged of war crimes, and Tzipi Livni, as foreign minister, played a role in the Israeli government who decided to launch a war on Gaza. Therefore, a judge issuing an arrest warrant is not a matter of embarrassment.
Tzipi Livni is leader of the opposition and no longer a minister within the Israeli government, meaning it could be harder for her to claim diplomatic immunity. The fact that the application for her arrest warrant was successful opens up the very real prospect of a travel ban for Israeli politicians visiting the UK.
Well, not to be dissuaded, I thought I'd give the Attorney General's office a call anyway, just to see if we could rectify the situation and have these war crimes placed on this criminal. If you'd like to know what went down, subscribe to my videos and wait for the next one to come out. The phone call is very, very interesting. But that's all for me for now. Take care, God bless, as always, and ciao for now.